Hi, ohayou gozaimasu. So this is a tutorial and also exercise for people starting off with ordinary push-ups. So yeah, the push-ups, basically like this. Put your arms roughly shoulder width, down, up, down, up, down, up. And the four main muscle groups you use in doing this exercise: number one, your deltoids, your shoulders; number two, your triceps around this region; and your pec, your chest; and your abs, your core. And once you can make use of all these four together, then an ordinary push-up should be relatively easy for you. And I know you can do it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to firstly show you three exercises which I think will be very beneficial for you to improve your push-ups. Number one, it's called the negative. From here, from plank position, you go down as slow as you can. You don't have to be like super duper slow 1 minute, but maybe take about 10 seconds to go down. And when you're doing this, you should be able to feel some stretch or the tension across your triceps and even your abs. But yeah, just try to do it. And then when you come lower, just try to hold as long as you can and then relax. And try to do that even in the course of like 10 minutes or even 6-7 minutes. Try to do it 10 times a day. That should really start building and eventually. And the second one is if you can't do this, and if that's too much on your back, too much arm, just do it with your knees on the ground. That is still pretty useful. But when you do this, make sure you can put something underneath your knees, but try to keep your legs quite far away from your hands, and that basically creates more alignment between your knees to the rest of your body. If it's like this, then basically you probably end up using some different muscle groups, which is different to push-ups. So instead, try to put your knees a little bit like this. So even this plank position should be kind of feeling a little bit arm, and then down. And once again, it's really, you can still feel stretch across your triceps. So that's one very good advice, which not many people do. You know, people say, okay, do a knee push-up, but they forget to teach the importance of opening your hips as much as you can when you do this. You can't open it like entirely, but try to open it at least like this much. So you have negatives. That's what you call negatives, going down. And second exercise is, once again, you can do negative. Try to again keep your hips open a little bit, and it's called knee push-up. So it's not knee push-up, isn't this, you know? It's almost impossible to kind of feel the weight when you do this. And your shape will come back. Instead, try to open your hips a little bit and do this. And if that's a little bit too difficult for you, then maybe take one step closer to your knees, and that should become actually, I don't know whether it becomes easier. I think it'll become even more difficult. Actually, maybe keep it like this. I think yeah, just have to keep and work on your negatives more and more if you think that's too hard. Actually, another good one is just to have a wall, and from there, just try to lean forward on the wall and push. Lean forward to push. I think that's going to be the basics. If it's going to be really hard for you to push against the wall, I'd say you can just lay on the ground and just push. Understand the movement. Down, and just imagine you're pushing the wall like this. And imagine that you're contracting your triceps and you're using your deltoids. Push, and then you're also going to start feeling your pec. And yeah, of course, another element of doing a push-up, which you do need, is a stable enough core. Now, of course, you might be able to have a strong arm, but if your hips end up collapsing like this, it's gonna either create a very bad habit or it's gonna create injury. So learn to do a proper plank. Plank is basically something like this. You have 45 degrees between your hands, your shoulders, your legs, and from here, try to focus on two things. Number one, imagine a small string on the top of your upper back, just pulling you up in the air. So you kind of create something like this, contour. And as for your bum, make sure you squeeze it. Squeeze your bum. It might, for some of you guys, might not understand the whole idea of squeezing your bum, but just basically, just try to contract around this region, and And it might not be spontaneous, but yeah, just with lots of practice. And so pull your string up and feel the abs, you know, feel it a little bit like contracting. Eventually, if you can feel it becoming more and more difficult, that's a good sign. And if this is too difficult for you, once again, just go to knee position. But once again, don't put it too close. Basically, that wouldn't use any muscle. So try to keep your knees a little bit far apart from your shoulder, from your hands. And yeah, similarly, just try to imagine a string pulling you up from your back, and that should really create a nice stable shape in your back and your abs and your core. So yeah, it's just all together combined. If you have any further question, I'm very happy to answer. I think that's gonna be even more better for people who want to start learning how to push up properly. So up, down, up, slowly down, negatives, relax, and knees, push up. If that's too difficult, just use the wall. But make sure each time when you're pushing against the wall, make sure you feel the triceps, make sure you feel the deltoids, your pecs, a little bit of your abs. So yeah, once again, ask me any questions.